Okay, hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty. This video is going to be about Ultimatum, something I wasn't intending on farming this patch, but after doing it for, a couple hundred ultimatums, it's actually pretty cracked, and it's, really AFK if you're doing it the way I'm doing it. So here's your first spoiler before you race to the comments with your little fucking elf hands and start yapping at me. This only feels good for me if I'm playing it with a build that is immortal and AFK. If you do not meet those qualifications, I wouldn't bother doing this. Or maybe you know something I don't. But I'm playing a build that has, 200-300 div in gear. You could probably do this with 100 div, mage blood plus a little bit. If I didn't have that shit, I wouldn't be doing this, alright? So, fuck off if you're going to complain. If you want to know what build I'm playing, it is the Chieftain Fulcrum Detonate Dead Flame Surging Knight build. If you want to know how it operates, rip my POB from my profile, and then I could ask in the comments or something. Either way, so if you're still here, you're here to watch the video, learn about my loot, what's going on, how Inscribed ultimatums work, what I've been doing. In the past, 2 days, I've made 50 div from this, unironically. I had, no div 2.5-3 days ago. This is pure currency. Obviously, I'm not in trade, so this is just drops and stuff. And I've gotten a couple Ultimatum uniques and a few Trial Masters. But before that, I'm going to bait and switch you and hit you with this video sponsored, so get hit. For the month of May, I'm partnering with a dope candy company called Rotten Gummy Worms. Rotten sells regular and sour gummy worms that are gluten-free and low in sugar. But most importantly, they taste pretty darn good for a worm. You could use the promo code LIGHTY for 15% off your order with free shipping on orders of $45 or more. I also recommend checking out their website with its retro goofy art style, very early 90s Adult Swim, funky games, and sick merch. Rotten Gummy Worms, sickeningly delicious. Okay, you're back after the 30-second ad. So, again, I've made 50 div pure in the past couple days, probably the same in Exalted, maybe a little bit less. Tons of bubblegum currencies, is what the kids call it these days. And I want to showcase, just first we're going to go over what an ultimatum looks like for me, and then we're going to talk about basically exactly what that means for you. So the perks of doing Ultimatum the way I'm doing it is you could do white maps. All right. Now again, I'm in standard. I have there's a lot of maps anyway. You want to do 14s, 15s, or 16s, but I have quad tabs of fucking maps, millions of maps in remove onlys. So many more maps than I could ever run. But it's nice because I just set myself up with 50 white maps, and I walk in, I do an ultimatum. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do an ultimatum, and you're going to see one in real time. This is going to give you an idea, at least, of where I'm coming from and what it looks like. So first thing I do is I just walk in the map, and because I see a Val side zone, I'm going to try to get an Adorned. I never get an Adorned, so we're moving on. Either way, here's the ultimatum, okay? Now, on the Atlas tree, I have most of the ultimatum stuff. What I have is all the ultimatum chance for higher, duplicated loot, 100% spawn rate, reduced radius each round, which makes it easier, additional rewards. This whole section just lets you pick which ultimatums you get, kind of. I want to stand still and do nothing. I just want to AFK. I want to tab out and look at Discord and talk to people, right? So there's the survive option, there's the kill option, and then there's the protect option. All three of these have me standing still. Stone circles, I do not want, but you can still get the little thing at the bottom that makes them easier to do. So if you get stone circles, you get it. 1 in 50 ultimatums is probably stone circles, so these things do work. You don't want the keystone because that makes you get ruin, and ruin is the main thing we're avoiding here. Ruin is the 7 stacks insta failure. Now at the top here, I want more Trial Master, so I picked that up. There's no reason not to get this, I think, because ultimately you just still want to get Trial Master at the end, and the final thing drops a full stack of a random catalyst, so if you're in Trade League, boom, profit. This wheel gives you more Inscribed ultimatums, and specifically for me, I want currency and unique ones. If you're in trade, you might probably drop the unique one and pick up the divination one. Either way, Inscribed ultimatums are great, so that's where you pick up those. Now, actually doing an ultimatum. Very few things I avoid. Very few things. This is one of them, escalating damage. Aside from that, you just pick up anything that does damage to you. It really doesn't matter past that for me. So I'm just picking up all these generic ones. Then you're going to start seeing your reward types. Now, a fun thing about this mechanic is it gives a lot of corrupted rares, oftentimes double corrupted. Because of this, you can mythic orb things. So I don't need a Samnite helm, but if I did like need a Hrim Sorrow for some reason, you could take this and mythic orb it. You know, you're always going to get them. Another good option here is encounter smaller. Buffs expire faster doesn't matter, and that's just damage. But small arenas are typically easier, so I grab those. Monster hits remove % of ES and mana. I don't have ES or mana. That's a free one. You'll see how fast these waves kind of go by. This doesn't take very long to clear one. Rares have 2 more modifiers. Again, that doesn't matter for me, so we're going to go through there. As we start to get to higher waves, you'll see the loot legally is supposed to be getting better. Not always the case. Giving the monster 50 res is definitely worse than just some random damage, so I'll take the random damage. And that was a corrupted unique on wave 6. That's to be expected. We'll do a couple ultimates through the course of this video, so don't worry if I'm blazing through this one, because they do go this fast. There's a decent div card, picking up another thing that just does damage to me. Doesn't fucking matter. And what do we got here? Coming up next is some more catalysts. Catalysts are great to sell. All right, here's the first time we've seen a ruin. Avoid this motherfucker like the plague. It's the real main thing you never want to pick, because it makes it so things hit you and stack ruin, and ruin makes it automatically fail. I do not want ruin. Anything but that, basically. If you get an inscribed ultimatum, sometimes they have to give you ruin, and you know, if you get that, that's whatever, because you can't roll inscribed ultimatums. But for the most part, never try to get ruin. Just try to get damage things, because for what I'm doing, damage doesn't do anything to me. I'm literally immortal for that. Okay, we're in wave 9. All right, so now legally, wave 8, 9, and 10 are supposed to offer higher tier currency. This is, I think, what they define as higher tier currency. You'd expect it to be divines and exalteds, but typically you don't get that many divines and exalteds to just occur. Most of them come from inscribed ultimatums. Okay, so this isn't like a super common occurrence. But it doesn't matter. We're just going to keep on chucking on. If you were to like cut out the time I'm talking, doing this will probably take 2 to 3 minutes per map of just sitting here and eating an ultimatum through. And there's our last one, a kind of okay Scarab is our final one. And if we hit this, so for Trial Master spawns, it doesn't tell you if you're going to get Trial Master. From my experience, it's about a 1 in 40 to get a Trial Master to a 1 in 50. If I hit accept trial on round 10 out of 10, okay, if I get a Trial Master, I'm going to be magically teleported away. And I was. That's very funny. Okay, so it's again a 1 in 50. Now he's going to die super fucking fast for me. He won't know. He's going to take longer for you normally. Man, imagine I get a Hate Forge right now. Oh, I got a Scepter. That's pretty cool though. It's a rare drop. If you for some reason, you know, killed him but then died or something weird, the loot does poop out at the end, so you're fine. But yeah, this is actually fantastic. I can update my tracker now. Look at this. I get one more there, and then I get one more here. I'll show the rates in a second. This is what I got. My filter's filtering out some stuff, but not too much. If your filters out, you know, corrupted stuff, definitely check it. But we got regrets, catalysts, prejudice there, and yeah, that's what we received. This is our full stack, they said. So you get the full stack from the node. Trial Master always drops a couple tainted catalysts. These are really great for, well, their only use is like corrupted items, but still pretty cool. And then we got a Trial Master unique. This was like more lucky than normal. Don't really get to see him very often. But yeah, so that was like 2 minutes of loot right there. Now you could, you know, every 2 minutes I've run 300 of these. You get a lot of shit. But there's a couple cool things you could do with Ultimatum. Aside from just charting it, you can kind of up it a little bit by using Scarabs. Now, there's a couple Scarabs here. This one is just makes an Ultimatum worthless. The next one says you get rewards starting 2 tiers higher and increased experience. That stacks limit 2. Fantastic. This is the guaranteed Trial Master. That one's extremely rare, but I find it sometimes. And then you have one that says all the catalysts will become inscribed ultimatums, and then the one before it says all rewards become catalysts. So if you have both of them, every reward is an inscribed ultimatum, basically. This you could also just pop on no matter what. This is totally fine. So if I put in another map here, we can show you exactly what that looks like. We'll do one more before we start like talking, and then we could give you an idea of what's going on. You don't have to scour them. I just don't want to figure out and find a map here, so I'm just going to do that for this. Make life easier because there's like a couple intricate discussions around inscribed ultimatums, so I just want to grab a few to show you what they look like. How funny is that? The first little demo for the video gets a fucking Trial Master. But imagine if it was a Hate Forge. I would have screeched at the top of my lungs. Shelby's in a meeting right now. She would have been pissed off at me, but you know, lose a wife, gain a Hate Forge. Honestly, 50-50. Because we're running our maps white, there's not a whole lot we could really put on the map that adds value from our Atlas standpoint. But there's a couple things you can do. Eater Exarch still apply. you do have to actually kill the boss every 28 or 14 to 28 if you want to get the invitations. Otherwise, you'll just never get them to actually prop. But yeah, you just kind of keep track of it like that. So we're at the Trial Master area. We're here doing ultimatums. Just gonna go through it like normal again. There's another corrupted item. This is another easy one. Monsters can't be stunned or slowed for me. Basically free. Most of them are free for me. Very little of these. I've never been in a situation where I had to pick one I didn't want to do, just for context. So we have a Inscribed Ultimatum. So right here, puts in 20C, poops out double it. All these things are double currencies for the Inscribed Ultimatums, all right? They're all going to double the sacrifice currency. You can get up to 8 Divines I've seen in this, but 20 Chaos, like this is 3 minutes of effort, 20C, fantastic. But there's something to note about these that we're going to talk about at the end. But we're just going to grab it for now. Because that was from the Scarab that Catalyst became an Inscribed, right? So we're going to like transition a lot of those into that. We'll see more as we go on. Offering, Poopy. The rewards in Ultimatum on average are insane, right? But like sometimes you get the wonkiest distribution. Like you'll get some wave 10 rewards that are like 1 Alk Shard div card in value. And then you'll see things in wave 5 that are like 4 or 5 pure divines. So it's kind of all over the place. Double corrupted belts, definitely not a good one, but could have been cool. Super, super chill. Just pooping out corrupted loot. Another Inscribed, 20 chisels, sure. Take 20 chisels. Actually, running the Inscribed takes like at most 1 minute. That's like the longest it'll ever take, because if you get the Survive one, that's the longest one. That takes about a minute. Sanctified Fossil, that's a good one. Always cool to get those. Those are pretty useful. You get a lot of stuff, by the way. It hits most every reward type I've seen. The only things I haven't seen are like tattoos and things like that, but you basically see everything. You see maps, you see unique maps, corrupted uniques, a bunch of stuff. 8C, do we get another back-to-back Trial Master? We do not. This is what you normally don't get a Trial Master, so this is like a much more average scenario. But any amount of this loot can be doubled, so that 8C could be doubled, hypothetically. And it was not. I think one of our Inscribes was doubled. It was the 20 Chaos one was doubled. All right, so here's a great example, right? To show what I'm hiding here, just a couple of things in offerings. I'm not hiding too much. You don't get any loot at all from the mobs. All right, no loot from the mobs, just experience. A lot of gem experience. So we got the 20 Chisel one, and then we got the 20 Chaos one. So right here, we just got from this one Ultimatum 40 Chaos effectively. Now you need the initial seed money, if you will, but that, you know, after half hour of doing Ultimatum, you'll have enough to just go infinite on these. And they do copy the Inscribed Ultimatums perfectly, so whatever the mods are for this one, the same for this one, okay? Now, you'll notice I'm putting these in, like, kind of categories. So there actually are different categories of Inscribed Ultimatums. The categories are denoted in loose tiers of value based off of the bottom mod set that says increased damage, increased life. So this is a 0-1. This is a 10-30, as in 10 damage, 30 life. This is a 20-70, gives you a Wrathpith Globe. You can see, like, the values kind of going up. And then this is a 31-20. Okay, gives you a Martyr of Innocence for this one. That's a tier 1 unique. There's even a tier higher, I believe. I think it's a 40-150 or something. Let's just quickly check. Yeah, okay, so the next tier up is 50 to 200, and that's when you're getting T0 uniques and stuff like that. So 31-20 is like what is, you know, quote-unquote tier 1 rarity. And then the next tier up is like the more expensive one, being 50 to 200. Now, in doing 310 ultimatums over the past 3 days, I've found zero of the 50-200s, okay? Now, and it could have been something like Merohi, which is worth a chaos, but the reason it's more important is you could 5-1 Inscribed, and they stay within their bracket. So if I 5-1, 5 of these 1030s, I'll only ever get a 1030 back. Same for the 2070s, same for the 3120s. And then the reason that's important is because in trade, if you were to vendor 5 of these 50C things, you know, you could get in return a mirror or a headhunter or something along those, you know, tiers of items, because that's what lies at the top, or a Mage Blood for a Rislothas. That's what lies at the top of these 50-200s, these sort of tier 1 unique things, apothecaries, beauty through death. You get the idea. Defiance of Destiny, that sort of stuff. So you could eventually get those. However, just in my sample size alone, I have not seen one of that type in this amount. So yeah, for me, it's just, I just take out any amount of normal maps. I typically run them in sets of like 30 or something, maybe sometimes more. And then we just pop them in and we run them, do the ultimatum, then leave. It takes 2 to 3 minutes. Now, again, like, what else could I put on the tree that really makes sense? For me, there's not much aside from just blocking things I don't want to see. As many scarab nodes as I could basically reach. Any amount of map drop stuff I could basically reach. I like having on Lucid Dream, so if you see a side zone, you just walk by it, toss a chance, toss a val, hope to get the adorned one. That's pretty cool. Also have the delve stuff on, so you could walk by, slap a delve, and there's a 10% chance you get a chunk of azurite. So from yesterday's, like, maybe 8 hours of doing it, I got a free 15,000 azurite, which is, you know, it's something. Even if you're capped sulfite, you'll still get azurite, so it's more than nothing. Let's do some more maps to showcase what the process looks like, but again, it's pretty straightforward. Again, if you have a build, I said again twice in 2 seconds. I'm gonna go for a third time. Again, can normal builds do this? Yeah, probably, but like, it's incredibly difficult, and Ultimatum gets extra spooky and angry, and you'll have to actually try hard. And I'm not in the business of trying at all, so for me, it's yeah, not happening. There's our Ultimatum. Let's start going. Leveling gems is great. You get a ton of experience from the Ultimatum, which feels really nice. The Scarabs also give more experience. That's even nicer. I don't really like leveling gems, but they did just remove that rare modifier in 3.24. That gives you a bunch of gem experience. So a mechanic like this, if you're immortal like me, is great for leveling not only yourself, I mean, I'm level 100, but leveling gems. So that's like a little nice added bonus. You could level gems on the side, sell them. I don't know what the fuck gems are worth anything, but enjoy. Here's a cool example of if you wanted to mythic orb this, you could. So Pride, Aura Effect, and Movement Speed during Flask Effect. I don't know if the Movement Speed during Flask Effect actually works if we even made this thing into a Mage Blood, but we'll toss a Mythic Orb on to see what happens. I probably would rather have like Quant or something, but if Mythic Orbs aren't expensive, it's kind of a cool thing to just like have a pile of them, and then just, you know, toss those bad boys on there. Yeah, it appears like Mythic Orbs are somewhere a little under 10C probably to purchase in bulk. Is that too much to invest into for a meme? Yeah, probably. If you're someone who's collecting uniques, for example, and you want to work your way through Ultimatum, again, I've been tracking at least some information. So in 310 Ultimatums, I've had 8 Trial Masters. These are natural spawns. The 35 on the right are ones I've had either in Ultimatum League or artificially from a guaranteed Ultimatum Trial Master Scarab, so you could discount those. And in that 8 to 310, I would say 6 out of 8 drops have been the ring, 1 helmet, and then the scepter you just saw. I've not gotten Hateforge, obviously, or the shield, which I imagine are the expensive things. There are actually 3 Ultimatum uniques that you can get to naturally occur. Those are Gamble Sprint, Relic of the Pact, and Temptation something. Relic might be expensive, but Gamble Sprint and Temptation, they're worthless use-wise. But I needed them for the collection log. So just for some context, 2 natural spawn ultimatums in what is 3,100 ultimatum waves. I found only 2 of those nat spawns. So let's grab our little belt here. There's some other stuff dropped, it looks like, but I don't care about it. This is where you can take your tainted, that's tainted exalted, tainted mythic, and toss on a heavy belt. Whoa, a siege breaker. Imagine if it said a mage blood. But yeah, so you could do that, and if you shoot your shot, 1 in 10,000 probably to get a mage blood, and that's on a good day. I'll do one more, even though these are kind of a commodity for me. Oh my god, a second siege breaker. I should have checked if the rolls were the same. Maybe there's some dupe tech going on here. Either way, that you could do. So, on a lark, enjoy. Yeah, because the maps are white. There's like not much quant rarity on the map itself, but all the juice is behind Ultimatum, and that doesn't scale with quantity or rarity for the most part at all, except for catalyst drops. Catalyst drops are scaled by quantity. It's the only thing that affects Ultimatum in any way is the catalysts. So if you do have if you care about catalysts to that degree, you could juice the maps, but any amount of map juicing, keep in mind, will make the ultimatums more rippy for the average Joe. I am a above average Joe, so for me it doesn't make a difference. And since all I care about is spawning Trial Master and getting Hateforge personally, I don't give a shit either way. Definitely not hunting Divines or Exalteds or other things, but yeah, I mean, I get them. Only after seeing how much currency I was generating in like 3 days of doing this did I think, Oh, this is probably pretty good for trade if you could just sit here and chill. I mean, I'm basically turning white maps into just... I'm not sure if people sell bulk white maps, but I guess you could probably just buy, like, a quad tab of bulk white maps and then just run them all in Ultimatum. You might go a little crazy. It's pretty boring, ultimately, because I'm just sitting here basically picking different options and then teleporting out. So if you want to catch up on, like, a TV show or watch movies or just, like, shit-talk in Discord, this is probably, like, a pretty good setup for that. Just try not to misclick a ruin because it ruins your time. The best part is like seeing that inscribed ultimatum that says like 8 divines, you know, to double whatever, but then your heart like drops a little bit when it actually you get it, and then it doesn't double off of the ultimatum atlas stuff, because like I swear to God, 99% of the time when I get a good inscribed or like a nice big currency drop, it never doubles. You know what doubles? The double corrupted opal wands, those double. That sort of trash doubles constant. So like 7 instilled on wave 10 is kind of a joke. I'm pretty sure my filter fucking hides that. Yeah, man, you know, that's life. The waves really don't denote much as far as like, oh, I'm on wave 10, it must be something good. Not the case. It's like kind of just like when you're past 5 or 6, you start getting nicer things, but it's a total meme. But yeah, nothing outstanding there, but like for SSF or whatever, just like this amount of stuff each map is, you know, it adds up pretty heavily. So to the point before, this is at 14 out of 28, right? So I'm pretty sure if I actually go kill the boss now, even though I don't typically kill the boss, when I walk in and do these, if I go kill the boss, it should drop an invitation. And then if I were to not do that and skip this one, I would just miss out on that invitation. I would like miss my window. So you know, for the one that's 28 to get a regular Exarch, I know regular bosses is like at an all-time low right now, but at least red side drops Polaric Devastation at a 5% rate. Oh, there's the Azerite from hitting that, by the way. There's a 10% little Azerite nugget. You can see how much that does add up, actually. 10%, but it's when it happens, it's great. Didn't happen that time, didn't happen that time. There's the Ultimatum. Let's go kill the boss real quick, and we'll come back. But yeah, free Exarchs, you know, every 28. I haven't been on top of it, but in 310 maps, I should have, you know, over 10 Exarchs. I have like 4 because I'm being a lazy shithead. But that's just me. Look how fast he died. He didn't drop anything. I think I missed my window by 1 map to get my invitation. That's okay. At the very least, the one that's at 28 for Exarch, you can't miss that, so, you know, be kind, rewind. I feel like by now you probably have a pretty good idea of what's up with Ultimatum from like how I've been running it, as far as like inscribes, trading up, the 5-to-1ing, like the different tiers between like the different monster damage things, what kind of rewards to expect, what mods you don't want. It depends on your build, but really just avoid ruin at all costs. And like there's one that says you don't regen, don't pick that one. That one sucks, you know. But aside from that, it's like pretty open-ended. You just walk in to a map. I'm standing here, I collect loot, I walk out of the map when I'm done, rinse, repeat. It's monotonous, it's super fucking AFK, and it's maybe a little bit boring, but that's where like your secondary activity, being like a movie, a TV show, Discord, audiobook, something like that, definitely pretty chill. Did you get another Trial Master? No. But I did see 2 different Chaos piles, so when this drops, we could double those. We could get a decent chunk of Chaos from this one. And I didn't get doubled. No, neither Chaos pile doubled. Sad boy. Well, speaking of doubled Chaos, let's go run an Ultimatum Inscribed one that we got, just to show you what that looks like. And that'll be probably the last thing we have to do. So for Inscribed Ultimatums, you just pop them in like a map, and yeah. We just walk in, and then we're just going to put our currency in the thing. Oh, I didn't bring enough currency. I need 20 seed. I need my seed money. Okay, pop in my 20 chaos, right? And then you can see the mods here. Like, I know for me, that one sucks. That one's annoying, kind of. It's really just ruin, and then that one. So, it's survive. This is the longest one. Because it's survive, you don't have to kill anything. I just run around the outside like an asshole. So I have phasing. I'm quick enough. You know, whatever. Those are the little spooky ruin ghosts. They're like the pale ones. If those touch you, they apply stacks of ruin. If you get to 7, you fail. They don't touch you if you just keep doing this. But this is just, this is it. I run around the outside like a dick. And eventually, the timer fills up, and then I win. That's it. It's, you know, and this will poop out 20C. And it doubled, so I can do it twice if I wanted to. No, it's not much, but it's honest work. If you die, you fail. If you TP out, I think you fail too. Don't die, don't fail. Make currency. I personally only really do inscribes that have exalted or divines. I get multiple a day though, but it's pretty chill. You can check on PoEDB, I believe, where the different tiers of ultimatums for inscribes sit. Although the list hasn't been updated in a while, so I really wouldn't take it like as gospel. They didn't even have Mage Blood listed. That's been out for a while. So when you're done, your loot poops out in the middle. There's our seed money. There's our reward money. Nothing else drops, you know? And that's it. Then we leave. Magic. How easy is that? But yeah, Ultimatum. It's super chill if you're immortal, and I can sit there AFK. So if you have a build that can do it like mine, or you have a variation of mine, would definitely recommend. In solo self-found and trade, the only initial investment you have is a white map and your atlas complete, and then whatever like seed money you need from this. But like I said, it prints currency pretty heavily. You could see it just by the amount I was getting quantity-wise. You know, extrapolate that every 2 to 3 minutes. Do some Munkle math. I'm not sure how many divines per hour it is. If you want to just break it down by like how much I was streaming, I would say in 16 hours-ish, I got that amount of flat divine, not to mention everything else. But I would have probably leveled also from like 99 to 100 easily, and then I've leveled like, I think 8 or 10 sets of gems in weapon swaps, so it's, yeah, it's pretty chill. Ultimatum, that's it. That's the end of the video. I'm a little crab boy, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. And in Trade League, this could be totally inefficient or different, but it's 100% AFK for me, so I'm going to keep doing it until I get a Hate Forge. Bye-bye.